The Winnipeg Jets lose Game 9 of the 2021 NHL season to the Calgary Flames by a score of 4-3 in the shootout. Overall, this was a pretty good game for the Winnipeg Jets in a lot of different areas, and it was an interesting game going into because of the fact that we actually see lineup changes. I know, right? Shocking. Paul Maurice changing his lineup? Could that actually be something we see? No, it can't be. But yes, it was surprisingly. And overall, I thought that it was a good, simple line change that needed to be made. Blake Wheeler and Mark Scheifele split up. Blake Wheeler goes down to the second line to play with Paul Stastny and Nikolai Ehlers. Andrew Kopp jumps up to that first line and plays with Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor. And overall, there was a massive improvement between the first line's play from the rest of the season and in this game, in just the fact that they were able to move the puck with speed, in my opinion. Because they were able to do that, they had a lot of good opportunities throughout the game, especially in the offensive zone, to really have puck possession, good passing plays, and actually establish a presence in the offensive zone for once, instead of just having a couple shots, a couple maybe decent opportunities, and then turning the puck over down in the corner of the boards. I really liked what I saw from Andrew Kopp on this game with that top line. Not because he was a standout, amazing, elite player, but because he was able to keep up with Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor, and because those guys, in my opinion, have taken a massive step back in their transition game because of how slow Blake Wheeler has gotten and playing with them on that first line, I think having a guy like Andrew Kopp come in with speed, it was a great boost to have for Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor. I think it really shows that Blake Wheeler at this point is better suited on that third line, not because he's a bad player, but because of his speed. Imagine Blake Wheeler's skill set going up against some third lines and even late second lines in certain times like that in the NHL. Blake Wheeler would dominate so many different areas of the game if he was able to do that. And in my opinion, I think that that's where he should be slotted down to when Pierre-Luc Dubois arrives with the team after quarantine, which is going to be most likely within the next week. And because of that, I think that having that transition down to the third line for Wheeler, having a more increased role for Andrew Kopp to get into the top six and have more opportunities to score and show his dynamic side of his offensive game, I think this could be a really good bonus for the Jets moving forward. Because in this game against Calgary, the Jets just look good. Like, as you guys are going to tell by the way I've already started with this review, there is really not a lot of negative for me to talk about. I could talk a lot about, the Hellebuyck goal, like for the Tanev goal on Hellebuyck in the second period from their own blue line. That, in my opinion, is not a bad goal. Well, it's a bad goal, but it's a goal that you can't blame Hellebuyck for. If you watch every replay, every angle, it's just the worst possible luck, the worst scenario. Anything that could have gone wrong in that play went wrong, and that's why it was a goal. Nothing because of Hellebuyck being a bad goaltender, just because it was horrible luck on his part. And I don't blame Hellebuyck at all for that goal. I really don't. Any goaltender in history, if you put him in that exact situation, that puck's almost going in. I'll bet anybody money on that. The way it hit, the way it took that last second deflection right as he went to play it to his left, there's no way that happens. It was just a really bad play, unfortunately, and a really bad bounce for the Jets to start that second game. But other than that, the biggest negative I had in this game, ironically, even though I just praised him for making changes, is Paul Maurice. In my opinion, and I know this is going to be probably controversial because that's what I like to be on this channel, Paul Maurice lost the Jets the game in a way. And in my opinion, let me explain. It had to do with the fact that in the shootout, Paul Maurice went to Matthew Perreault over Andrew Kopp, Nikolai Ehlers, Neil Pionk. I'm like, there were so many more. Even Adam Lowry, with the way his offense has been. Matthew Perreault has not been a consistent guy in the lineup up until maybe the last 3-4 games, if you want to even say consistent at that. In my opinion, horrible decision there to put him in. Nikolai Ehlers has been on an insane hot streak. Andrew Kopp, an insane hot streak. Adam Lowry, an insane hot streak. Neil Pionk had a great game and had a lot of good opportunities and had pretty good hands for most of the part, in my opinion. Nonetheless, that's who you decide to go with in the shootout, in a moment where you can win the entire game. You go with Matthew Perreault. Paul Maurice at his finest, ladies and gentlemen. That's the only thing I have to describe such an idiotic decision on his part. In my opinion, that's the decision that lost us the game. There were a lot of different things you could point to, in my opinion, that were like all the turning points. But yeah, the Jets did give up a 2-goal lead, but nonetheless, it wasn't really have anything to do with the fact that Dylan LaMelo just played bad defense, and Josh Morrissey still looked like a Josh Morrissey that was having a lot of problems. Dylan LaMelo just looked so lazy today in his zone, not picking up his check, not clearing the crease, just overall a horrible presence and a non-existent presence in his own defensive zone today, in my opinion. I just could not get over the fact that he just looked so bad. We're playing this guy 3x3, and it looks like he just faded his way into a contract. He faked his way in, like, he doesn't look like he's worth it. And in my opinion, I was saying this a lot on the live stream, Josh Morrissey's best game of the season came with him paired with Ville Heinola against the Ottawa Senators. If you don't disagree, go back and watch those highlights. Watch the extended game highlights and see the puck passing that they had, how confident Morrissey was in the neutral zone and in the defensive zone, even with his breakout passes. Heinola was able, just a better asset to what Morrissey was and what DeMello's been to him since his arrival, since having his child and coming back, whatnot. I just don't think that I think that Ville Heinola needs to be in this roster. Because the offense today looked good, and it looked really good. Hellebuyck looked fantastic, and the defense, again, just failed. We need to have Ville Heinola. I'm sorry, but if you have Dylan Samberg and Ville Heinola, and you've got Nathan Beaulieu in, and Nathan Beaulieu playing the puck the way he does it in front of the own net dangerously, constantly in every game, giving turnovers in his own end because of lazy puck management, I don't understand this. If Logan Stanley is Paul Maurice's opinion on the best defenseman right now to help the Jets win, that's great. But how is Beaulieu any better than what Ville Heinola is going to offer as a rookie? Because I know a lot of people disagree with it, but it's not. When you watch what Ville Heinola brings at the professional level, he is better than Nathan Beaulieu. Oh, he won't kill penalties? Nathan Beaulieu does a horrible job at killing penalties recently. What's the I just don't understand this. You have these defensive players that are struggling. DeMello doesn't look good. I understand keeping DeMello in because you're paying him, but Beaulieu's cheap. If you don't want Beaulieu because he's playing bad, sub him out for Samberg. Give Samberg an opportunity to see how he looks as a two-way defender on that third pairing with Stanley. I know two rookies aren't good, but at this point, who the hell cares, right? We need to try something new with the defense to give it a jump spark because it's lacking desperately. Derek Forbort is a great defenseman for us so far, and Neil Pionk is playing pretty solid, but they are not a top pairing, and they're not even close to top pairing defensemen. They're just playing pretty decent defensive minutes, in my opinion. You can't expect Forbort to jump in on the rush as much as he does. You can't expect Pionk to be a catalyst and just be this workhorse out for the defense and run the point in every possible way. Not to mention the fact that he doesn't even get the opportunity to play on the first power play because Josh Morrissey is still there for some reason. Explain that one to me, Paul Maurice. I don't understand any of this. At this point with this part of the game, it's just, in my opinion, the Jets played well in so many areas. What failed them was their coaching. I feel like the coaching, they mismanaged the roster, they mismanaged their opponent, and because of they lost. They had the weaker players in and the better players on the bench, and that's what cost them this game, in my opinion. It was such a close game, and that's what it comes down to, is the amount of talent on the roster, in my opinion. And in my professional opinion, I'm joking, I ain't a professional, I think that there was more talent on the bench, and because of that, I think that's why the Jets ended up losing this game. Not because Calgary was a bad opponent or nothing, because Calgary played great. This was one of the most fun games I've seen all season, in my opinion. Really high action, great overtime, a great shootout, a great regular 3 periods. It was just a great game of hockey, and it was great to live stream this with all the Calgary fans, Jets fans from every team in there. And that's the attitude everyone had at the end of this game was, Paul Maurice lost them that game. And in my opinion, that's the case because Blake Wheeler had 3 points and he wasn't even playing top line minutes, and 2 of them came on the power play. Actually, no, all 3 of them came on the power play if I'm not mistaken. Nonetheless, 3 points for Blake Wheeler on the power play, and he's effective on the second line. That's what you need from Blake Wheeler, right? Kyle Connor getting 2 goals on the power play. Kyle Connor stepping into Linus spot, right? All this stuff here that I'm telling you about is positives about how well the team played. Scheifele had points, looked more present than what he had in the past. All of this stuff, the negative, comes from the fact that Paul Maurice just mismanaged the roster, in my opinion. I feel like if the roster is done a certain way for this game with Ville Heinola in there, and Nikolai Ehlers takes a potential shot at the end of the shootout, there's just so many what ifs with this game, and that's how it is for me. It's a great game where the Jets played great hockey, and I didn't think they really needed to improve on much other than some players having really bad performances, but as a team, they played great hockey. And when a team plays great hockey and you lose, you look at, was it the coaching? And in my opinion, it was the coaching in this opportunity. Paul Maurice failed his team, in my opinion, in this game. Maybe harsh, but you know what I mean by that. I mean that, in my opinion, I think that if he had done things differently, this outcome could have been different. I don't think it was anything to do with the players. I think it has strictly to do with coaching. But again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below, as always, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think about this game? What do you think about Paul Maurice's coaching? What do you think about the decisions that were made down the line throughout this game? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments section below. As always, if you're a fan of hockey, regardless of the team you root for, definitely consider dropping a subscription. We're on that way to 1K subs, and I do appreciate every single one of you guys that drops a subscription. It means the world to me. Thank you so, so much. Peace, love, and positivity, everybody. I will see you in the next video. Go Jets, go.